are mainly migrants themselves. So on the webinar today, co-presenting with me is Jo Bradshaw. She's from Blackpool in the UK. Then we've got online, we have our visa agent, our head of visa agent, Nazim Lalizare. She's from Sydney. She'll be able to answer questions as we go throughout the seminar. And then we have Mahbub Jatoy. He's from Lahore, Pakistan. Alan Feng from Shanghai. And we have one Kiwi with us, which is Jess from New Zealand. So I will take you to our next bit, which is the jobs part. Oh, yeah, first start. So we're going to jobs in a second. We're going to have a look at the very short video. We're going to play 3 videos today. But this is a very This is one about our events, which we did about 18 months ago in Manchester.
As Accent Health Recruitment, we've come across from New Zealand, and we're here to recruit medical professionals from the UK to come and work permanently in New Zealand. We're looking for a big range of clinical candidates. We're looking for GPs, doctors and consultants. We're nurses, midwives. We're looking for allied health professionals, specifically operating theatre technicians or ODPs, speech language therapists, physios and occupational therapists.
When you're moving to the other side of the world to start a new life, there are so many questions that you've got that are so hard to answer. You might have a family tortoise that's been with you for years and you want to know, can you ship that to New Zealand? Do you have to pay to open a bank account in Australia? Or what are the childcare facilities like in the province of Nova Scotia? You come to an expo like this, you talk to experts, they give you the advice that saves you time and money, and that's how it makes your move and your migration so much easier.
What we were going to do is take you through the jobs list of every job available at the Working in events in March this year in London, Glasgow and Manchester. So I was having a look for the jobs list.
Good morning, everybody. Hope everybody can hear me and everybody's tuned in. So as Haley said, I'm Jo from Blackpool, and I actually moved to New Zealand about 10 years ago. And obviously love it. I'm not sure if any of you tuned in this morning are from Blackpool, but hey, look, I totally recommend moving to New Zealand. So firstly, I'm going to talk about some of the jobs that will be available at the Expo. And look, the first industry that I'm going to talk about is healthcare and medical. There are going to be an abundance of healthcare and medical roles at the shows. So if you are anything in any sector of the medical and healthcare sector, please come along. We've got heaps of opportunities for GPs, allied health across the board, from occupational therapists through to psychiatrists and radiologists, sonographers. And then also we've got a huge range of nursing roles on offer as well, right from theatre nurses to aged care nurses, ICU nursing, and these roles are for New Zealand, Australia, and also Canada. These in all 3 countries. We have one company coming along who are called Calvary Hospital, and they're actually based in Adelaide, and they are a private ICU acute hospital, and they're looking for trainee doctors in the ICU section, and also specialist nurses as well. So look, lots of opportunities there across the board in healthcare, medical and nursing. So please come along and meet the employers. They're really looking forward to meeting you. I'm going to pass it over to Haley now, who is going to run through some of the IT jobs that will be at the Expo. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
Thanks, Jo. The IT and technical roles at the show are mainly from Canada, but don't let that put you off. If Canada may be well the destination you're looking for, but New Zealand and Australia have IT skills across the board on their skills shortage list, and at the events in March, there will be government representatives and commercial migration agents that can totally take you through and tell you how you can make the most of those opportunities. I guess the way we see IT, a little bit like health, is that having a degree or practical experience in IT is a real golden ticket to a life around the world. And I guess you guys are in IT, you know that already, but it's nice to know it. So the roles that we have in particular at the shows in March are from Canada. Over the last couple of days, as we've been preparing for this webinar, I've heard that from the governments of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, who are the people that bring these roles to the event, that they are hiring a lot of people. So the government of Nova Scotia and New Brunswick, Newfoundland and Labrador come to our events every time we run them. We run them in March and October. They take out a huge stand, and their provincial immigration officers man the stand. These are the gatekeepers to those provinces in Canada. And in a way, they act as gatekeepers at the show as well. So if you talk to them at the show, if you have a skill in demand, let's say like you're a web developer, to use a real general example, but if you're a web developer, they will recognise that some of the employers that have travelled with them would like to speak to you, and they will let you into the inner part of the stand. So it's a huge stand at our show. It has an outside ring where you can talk to the immigration agents for those provinces, and then you can go inside and talk to the employers. And so what people have been telling us over the last couple of days is that from the March shows last year in 2015, over 40 people have been hired and are living in Canada, and just as recent as last October, over 30 people have already been hired. But that's just initial figures. Hundreds of people, if not thousands, have been hired through that stand over the years. So you have a really great opportunity to meet an employer and get a job in Canada, in those East Coast provinces, if you come to the event. And I just note that you don't know where those are, or you haven't heard of them before. They look amazing if you search for them online. The jobs are mainly in Halifax, which is just under 2 hours flight away from New York, which I think is a benefit, and it's only 6 hours flight away from the UK. It's a city of about 1 million people. And the other roles are in Fredericton, which is in New Brunswick, and again from America and the UK. So for people that want to move overseas for a short or long period of time, it's an option. It's not as far away as New Zealand and Australia, but it is getting away and having a different life somewhere else and seeing a world of opportunities. So they are our IT jobs. I just want to let you know before we go any further that we have an offer for you guys who are on the webinar this morning. It is here. So as you have signed up and attended and you're here, you can use the promo code webinar to receive 50% off your ticket price. So they're usually about £18, and so it'll be around £9 to attend, which is really good value. And you can come either on the Saturday or Sunday in London. Glasgow is slightly cheaper actually, and it's a one-day event, and in Manchester as well. So I'll bring that up later on, and also I'll send this to you after the webinar. So we're going to the next part of our that's for later on, that one. We are now going on to the next part of our jobs list, which is education. I'm going to pass over to Joe, who's going to talk you through that.
Hi again, thanks very much, Hayley. So yeah, as Hayley said, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the education roles that will be on offer at the Expo. Look, this is mainly focused on the New Zealand market. We have got a massive shortage in New Zealand for particular teachers. So we've got a great company coming along who actually work quite closely with the Ministry of Education in New Zealand. And they've actually been hiring in the teaching space now for over 20 years, and are very instrumental in bringing some great teaching skills into New Zealand. So what's in high demand in New Zealand? Well, the main demand at the moment, and this was announced, it was in August 2015, is for senior level teachers in secondary schools. And there's some particular teaching roles within that I'd like just to list for you, if you just bear with me. Just bear with me while I get to those roles. That's it. So you'll see on the screen right now some of those roles. So what you'll notice is they're largely in maths and technology, accounting, business studies, physics, chemistry. So those real academic roles. So yeah, take a look at those, and also feel free to go to our website workingin.events.com, where you will find a full list of all the roles that we, myself and Hayley, have been talking about today, and that will also help you see what roles are available. But please come along and talk to education personnel. They're very skilled in helping you make that move to New Zealand and help you through that process. There are other positions available, such as primary teachers, but they're not as, however, in high demand as the ones that we've got listed. So I think that pretty much covers off education. As I said, go to workingin.events.com to look through those roles in more detail. And now I'm going to move on to just talking about industrial electrical. So we've got one of the companies coming across from New Zealand to the UK in March called EIS. Now they're in the industrial electrical space, and they're in rapid expansion, and they're looking for a number of people to support that expansion. They've got a huge growing client base, and very good company to work for, offer really rewarding careers, and their offices are based in the South Island. So if that's a destination for you, please come along and talk to EIS. They are, you'll see on the screen now, excuse me, they are looking for industrial electricians, electrical estimators, team leaders, control systems engineers, so it's sort of across the board in that industrial electrical space. So yeah, please come along and talk to EIS. They're a great company and they're hiring now. So they'll look forward to meeting you in March. Next, just a quick overview of engineering. You'll see on the screen right now as well the list of engineering roles that will be available. Whilst there are engineering roles available in New Zealand and in Australia, you'll see that these roles are particularly being hired for in March in Canada. So again, mechanical engineering, even naval architect engineering, some quite specific roles here, electrical systems engineers, obviously structural engineers as well. So please come along, and there is, you know, something for everybody. And also there'll be seminars as well that you can actually come and listen to while you're at the event. Just on from engineering, I'd also just like to talk a little bit about trades roles. One of the companies that you can come to meet at the event is called New Zealand Skills and Demand. Now what they do is they have been working for many years now in identifying those skills in New Zealand that are required across the construction sector. What we're largely talking about here are carpenters and joiners and mechanics. And so please come along and meet NZ Skills in Demand. They will be able to help you in your pathway to New Zealand. Massive amount of jobs all throughout New Zealand. There's heaps and heaps of construction work going on. So please come along and talk to them. Now I'm just going to pass you over to Hayley again, and you'll see me back again in a few minutes. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Jo. Thanks. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about, it's still in the trades arena, it's about electricians, and it's about electricians who want to move to New Zealand, although I am going to touch on Australia as well. We've just developed with the Down Under Centre, who are based in West London, a new pathway for electricians to move to New Zealand. And you might hear the word pathway a lot as you embark, or you've maybe heard it before if you're in the middle of your migration journey. But we have developed a pathway with the Down Under Centre for electricians, and what we have developed with a registered electricians trainer from New Zealand is what is called a New Zealand Electricians Competency Certificate. This, if you're a UK electrician, you can sign up with the Down Under Centre, who will arrange this competency certificate training for you at their centre in London. It doesn't take too long. It's a short course. If you are an electrician, it's something that you would pass with ease. But what it gives you is a piece of paper that allows you to easily get a job in New Zealand. It's something that New Zealand employers would recognise immediately and know that you are an electrician of repute, and you can work for them. What the pathway entails is visa assistance and job search assistance. And so us here at Working in Auckland are in touch with companies that want electricians. There's a shortage of electricians here. We can put you in touch, facilitate that. You have your certificate that you've got whilst you're in the UK, and the pathway is smoother than it would have been than if you're sitting at home trying to find jobs and work out all this by yourself. So I don't know how many electricians are listening tonight, but if you know one and they're interested, please tell them, and I'll send the details of this along with all the other slides after the webinar. We'll finish off the rest of the jobs, and I can see that there's quite a few comments in the box from other people saying, do you have my occupation at the event? And that's a fantastic question. We will send this entire list to you, and you can also go online onto Working in Events, and this is all over our website as well, with the full job adverts and sometimes the job descriptions as well, so you can see whether it is a job that actually you could do or you'd like to do. But also I would say that please go on to Working in New Zealand, workinginaustralia.com, workingincanada.com as well, because all the jobs are there and you can apply for these jobs through our job sites. All the employers on those job sites want to hear from people that want to move. I always say they've got the welcome mat out for migrants, and that is so enormously important when you're trying to find work from the other side of the world. When you're on our job site, you know that these employers really want to hear from you and they'll take your application seriously. Usually they have a critical need, and that is why they are advertising on our site, and indeed that is why these people are coming to our events, and so they really want to hear from you, and your application will be well received. And also for people who probably can't, maybe some of you who are dialing in this morning, this evening, if you can't come to the shows, then do apply for these jobs online. You can do that too. So what would I'll just run you through very quickly, because I know we've taken a long time on jobs, but it probably is 50% of the importance of our event. These are the other roles that are on offer at the event. We have design and animation roles. These are from a company. It's mainly HB Studios in Nova Scotia. They're based in Halifax. Halifax is sort of in the middle there on the, I can't point, but it's in the middle of a big island there that you can see on the map. Halifax, not in the UK, Halifax in Canada. An amazing place. I've not been there actually, but I've seen it and heard a lot about it. It looks like a great place to live, and these sort of companies are so good. They have an office in Halifax, an office in New York, an office in London. They really are world-class companies. We also have hospitality jobs. These roles are being offered by big brands, Burger King, KFC, Pizza Hut. They need people to work in locations all around Canada. So if that is your career path, they would like to hear from you. And then we have jobs in management, and there are some finance roles in there as well. So that's our job list, and we won't really talk any more about that now, but certainly do ask us questions, and after we've finished speaking today, we're going to stay on the webinar for another 20 minutes or so to talk. What we're going to look at now is Immigration New Zealand and why they come to our events.
Yes, we're representing Immigration New Zealand, which is the government agency responsible for issuing visas to people. So we're here mainly to support the New Zealand employers who are here because they're not able to give immigration advice. So they often refer the people to us, or people are just coming directly to our stand. So we're giving advice to the potential migrants about what their visa options are, and in doing that we're helping both the migrant and the employer. Well, at the moment in some sectors there are some major skill shortages. Some of those are as a result of the earthquakes in Christchurch, where we're needing construction related workers. But it's not only that, there are many other occupations and sectors in need of workers, particularly the health and IT sectors. So as a result of that, we're needing more people to come and help to work in New Zealand to fill those skill shortages. And we are making a point that they are skill shortages. They're very, very hard to find jobs. So hopefully employers will get some of those people here in the UK.
Great, it's great to have Immigration New Zealand with us. They're coming to all of our events in London, Manchester and Glasgow. They're running 5 seminars a day on the Saturdays and 4 a day on the Sundays, and they're running seminars in Glasgow as well, so do take the opportunity to speak with them. They fly up from Wellington, New Zealand to be with us. It's amazing, and the reason it is amazing is because normally these people are locked into rooms. You can't speak to them. You may have to ring a hotline and pay for that opportunity, or you probably wouldn't get that. Such a great opportunity to meet with a government official and hear their policy face to face on the kinds of people that they need. As well as New Zealand, we have the government of Western Australia. Again, Western Australia are always with us at our events. They, as you probably are aware, have had a slowdown in their mining industry, but they still have a requirement for skilled people, especially in health and IT and some other key skills. It's the same with Immigration New Zealand. They have a representative in the UK. Usually that person is hard to get hold of, or if not impossible, but he and his team attend the events and welcome you to come up and speak to them. If you really want to move to Perth or WA, then if that's your dream, then please go and talk to him. It's his job to make it as easy as possible for you to choose WA. Also, we are very excited to let you know that we have the Government of New South Wales with us at our Manchester event. Now, Sydney and New South Wales are very interesting in terms of the bigger picture of migration. They've never been to an event. If you can imagine Sydney, it's probably one of the coolest cities in the world. Everybody wants to land there, and probably a lot of people want to live there who move to Australia. But they do have some skills in need, so they're coming along to our Manchester event to run seminars and have a booth and talk to people directly about who they're looking for. I've talked about the New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador stand. That's the biggest stand that I talked about earlier. But what I wanted to show you here is a little video of the Minister of Immigration, Lena Diab, who came to our event about 18 months ago, and here's what she had to say.
Well, I'm Minister Diab, the Minister of Immigration for the province of Nova Scotia, which is Canada's East Coast province, and we're delighted to be here with you because we see UK as a close partner with Canada for both trade and immigration purposes, as well as you know, we have a great bond. UK and Canada has a great cultural bond, so we're delighted to be here to look for skilled workers, which is what this expo is representing. Nova Scotia is a wonderful, wonderful province, east coast of Canada. We have 10 post-secondary educational institutions. We actually educate many Canadians throughout Canada, as well as many, many international students. So for the family and the quality of life is is best. There's nothing like being in Nova Scotia. We've got the beautiful ocean, the beautiful waters. We have a beautiful sector. We're now we're a new government in the province of Nova Scotia, and immigration is a key focus for us. And we're looking for lots of skilled trade workers. We have professions in the IT sector, software development, as well as nurses, some doctors, engineers, various things that we have available.
We were absolutely delighted that Minister Diab came to our events. She's the Minister of Immigration for Nova Scotia, so you can imagine how good it is for us to have a VIP like that attending. Nova Scotia and the other East Coast provinces are really innovative. They really put themselves out there. They want you to move there. And with the decline in job roles in Alberta because of also the slowdown in mining there, they've really managed to scoop up some really highly skilled people for their province, and they're active and welcoming. So they're really worth checking out. And as I mentioned before, they have their heads of immigration there at the show, the people that can let you know whether you can move, and if you can, they will help to fast track that for you. Now we do have other one thing to mention as well, the Canadian High Commission presents seminars at our events too. So again, another government representative just letting you know more about their country and why they want you as new people for that country. We do have commercial migration agents at the event. They're absolutely essential for people wanting to move. There are some people in the world who find a job that's right for them. Let's say in New Zealand, they can absolutely fit the bill. They don't have any family or ties. They can move very easily, and they have no need for a commercial migration agent. And I guess that's fantastic, but that's not everybody's story. People have families, they have blended families, they might have a health issue, their children might have a tiny health issue or larger health issue, they might be near the age barrier, they might not be sure if they are a web developer or a website assistant, and so do they fit onto the skills in demand lists. So there's quite a lot of grey, and I suppose what the migration agent, a commercial migration agent, does is let you understand that grey. The immigration people that you'll meet are very much about the black and white. Commercial migration agents are like lawyers. In fact, a lot of them, or most of them, are lawyers, and they help you negotiate the grey and help you with your pathway to those countries. But they also help you with all that visa work and all that paperwork and red tape, which if it's not your bag, then they can take that away from you as well. So that's it in terms of the governments that are going to be attending the events and the migration agents, and they're for every country: Australia, New Zealand, Canada. I think we're at a point now of service providers at the event, the very important migration experts. So I'm going to hand you on to Jo to talk about that.
Thanks, Hayley, and hello again. Yeah, there's a couple of very important items to talk about. Still, obviously, we've covered a lot on the job side of things, and as Hayley's talked to you about, immigration support and government support, but there are two really other very important elements of our expos. Firstly, that is the seminars that are run at the events. We have a schedule of seminars at all the events, and if only coming for those things alone, I would highly recommend you come. There's governments doing seminars. You've got Immigration New Zealand, Nova Scotia, New South Wales, as Hayley mentioned. And we've got employers and also service providers that help you with that migration and also presenting. So please come along, even if it is just for those. As we talked about before, we've got a special offer. So it's 50% off tickets using the code webinar. And so that was only £9 for a ticket. And in London and Manchester, they're both 2-day events, and that brings you into the events for 2 days. So one day you can come and sit in on all the seminar sessions, and perhaps the other day you can come in and come back and talk to the individual stands. And you'll learn lots from the seminars, and obviously very important to gather that information. The other thing, final thing I just wanted to mention was our service providers that are at the events. Now, another very, very important part of the process, obviously, they're there to help you get organised and prepared and all those other things that you need to do, than just find a securing the job. So you'll come along and you'll find banks, you'll find foreign exchange companies, you'll find shipping companies, and they're there to talk to you and help you through that process and give you ideas on timelines, on how much it costs, special offers available to people that come to the expo. So they're there to help you. So I certainly recommend that you come along and talk to all those people. They're a very important part of our events. Well, I think that's maybe it for our first webinar from me anyway. I will pass you over to Haley in a minute, but thanks so much for tuning in today, and thanks for listening to everything that we've got to say about our events. Look forward to seeing you at the expos, and of course, if you're not in the UK and can't make the events, please remember you can go on to workinginnewzealand.com, workinginaustralia.com, or workingincanada.com to apply for jobs directly. So thanks again, and yeah, hopefully I'll talk to you again.
Thanks, Jo. Thanks everybody for listening. That does wrap it up for us today, but as I said, we're going to stay online now for another 20 minutes, half an hour or so. So if there are any questions, and there are a lot here in the box which we'll be answering all of you, and but stay online and we can talk directly to you. Essentially, we want you to achieve your dream. We put these events on because we're passionate about that, and we have been for the last 15 years. So please do come along if you can and check it out. But see you again soon. Cheers.